A. Abandoned project, a project in which inadequate handoff or transition on the project deliverables occurs. Acceptance criteria, pre-established standards or requirements that a product, service, or process must meet. Accessible, something that is easily used, accessed, or adapted for use by people experiencing disabilities. Action item, a task that needs to be completed. Adoption metrics, metrics that indicate whether or not a product, service, or process is accepted and used. Air cover, support for and protection of a team in the face of out-of-scope requests or criticism from leadership. Analytics, the process of answering business questions, discovering relationships, and predicting outcomes based on the analysis of data. B. Bad compromise, a situation that occurs when two parties settle on a so-called solution but the end product still suffers. Bar chart, a type of chart that uses color and length to compare categories in a dataset useful for comparing values. Bug, a technical issue. Burndown chart, a line chart that measures the time against the amount of work done and the amount of work remaining, useful for projects that require a granular, broken down look at each task. C. Change, anything that alters or impacts the tasks, structures, or processes within a project. Change log, a record of all notable changes on a project. Character, the qualities or features that make up and distinguish a person, like honesty, integrity, and kindness. Collaboration, people working together on an activity. Confirmation bias, a type of data bias that refers to the tendency to search for information that confirms pre-existing beliefs. Conger's 4 steps, refers to J.A. Conger's 4-step approach to effectively persuade and influence another person to consider new ideas, establish credibility, frame for common ground, provide evidence, and connect emotionally. Continuous improvement, an ongoing effort to improve products or services, begins with recognizing when processes and tasks need to be created, eliminated, or improved. Control, an experiment or observation designed to minimize the effects of variables. Cost variance, the difference between actual cost and budgeted cost. Critical user journey, the sequence of steps a user follows to accomplish tasks in a product. Customer satisfaction score, a metric that indicates how well the project delivered what it set out to do and how well it satisfies customer and stakeholder needs. D. Dashboard, a type of user interface, here typically a graph or summary chart that provides a snapshot view of a project's progress or performance. Data, a collection of facts or information, the numbers and feedback available about different aspects of a project. Data analysis, the collection, transformation, and organization of data to draw conclusions, make predictions, and drive informed decision-making. Data bias, a type of error that is influenced by one's inherent beliefs. Data ethics, the well-founded standards of right and wrong that dictate how data is collected, shared, and used. Data privacy, the act of protecting a data subject's information and activity any time a data transaction occurs. Data visualization, a graphical representation of information to facilitate understanding. Data-driven improvement frameworks, techniques used to make decisions based on actual data. Dependability, a quality indicating team members are reliable and complete their work on time. Dependencies, tasks, activities, or milestones that are reliant on one another. Dependency management, the process of managing interrelated tasks and resources within a project to ensure that the overall project is completed successfully, on time, and on budget. Deviation, anything that alters the original course of action. Discretionary dependencies, dependencies that could occur on their own, but the team saw a need to make those dependencies reliant on one another. Diversity, the set of differences each individual possesses, whether visible or invisible, that gives them a unique perspective on the world and their work. DMAIC, the 5 steps to take when working toward continuous improvements: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Duration, the amount of time it takes to complete or produce something. E. Edge case, rare outliers that the original requirements of the project didn't account for, deals with the extreme maximums and minimums of parameters. Engagement metrics, metrics that indicate the degree to which a product or service is used, or the frequency of use, amount of time spent using it, and the range of use. Escalation, the process of enlisting the help of higher-level project leadership or management to remove an obstacle, clarify or reinforce priorities, and validate next steps. Ethical leadership, a form of leadership that promotes and values honesty, justice, respect, community, and integrity. Expressiveness, refers to one's ability to communicate with others. External dependencies, asks that are reliant on outside factors, like regulatory agencies or other projects. F. Feedback survey, a survey in which users provide feedback on features of a product that they like or dislike. Force majeure, an unforeseen circumstance that prevents someone from fulfilling a contract due to a major crisis. G. Gantt chart, a project tracking visual that is useful for staying on schedule, ideal for projects with many dependencies and larger project teams. H. Happiness metrics, metrics that relate to different aspects of the user's overall satisfaction with a product or service. Headline, the one-sentence main point that illustrates a slide. History, refers to the level of personal history between oneself and another person. Impact, the belief that the results of one's work matter and create change. Impact report, a presentation guided by a deck or slideshow that shows key stakeholders the value that's been added by the project. Inclusive leadership, a form of leadership where everyone's unique identity, background, and experiences are respected, valued, and integrated into how the team operates. Inclusivity, the practice or policy of including people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized. Influencing, the ability to alter another person's thinking or behaviors. Influencing statement, a conversation opener that sets a person up for success with their audience. Infographic, a visual representation of information or data intended to present information quickly and clearly. Information, an organizational source of power that refers to one's level of access and control over information. Internal dependencies, the relationship between two tasks within the same project. Interpretation bias, a type of data bias that refers to the tendency to always interpret ambiguous situations as either negative or positive. Issue, a known and real problem that may affect the ability to complete a task. Knowledge, refers to the power drawn from one's expertise in certain subjects, unique abilities and skill sets, and ability to learn new things. Key performance indicator, KPI, a measurable value that demonstrates how effective a company is at achieving business objectives. Legend, the bottom or side section of a chart that gives a small description of each section. Line chart, a type of chart that displays information as a series of data point markers helpful for showing trends and behaviors over set periods of time or overall. Mandatory dependencies, tasks that are legally or contractually required. Metric, a quantifiable measurement that is used to track and assess a business objective. Milestone, an important point within the project schedule that indicates progress and usually signifies the completion of a deliverable or phase of the project. Network, the people one is connected with professionally and personally. Never-ending project, a project in which the project deliverables and tasks cannot be completed. Observer bias, a type of data bias that refers to the tendency for different people to observe different things. On-time completion rate, a productivity metric that helps illustrate to clients and stakeholders how the project is progressing and when they can expect certain deliverables to be ready. PDCA, a four-step process that focuses on identifying a problem, fixing the issue, assessing whether the fix was successful, and fine-tuning the final fix stands for plan, do, check, and act. Pie chart, a type of chart divided into sections that each represent a portion of a whole useful for making comparisons. Portfolio, a collection of programs and projects across a whole organization. Probability and impact matrix, a tool used to prioritize project risks. Process improvement, the practice of identifying, analyzing, and improving existing processes to enhance performance, meet best practices, or optimize consumer experiences. Productivity metrics, metrics that track the effectiveness and efficiency of a project, including items like tasks, milestones, projections, and duration. Program, a collection of projects. Project closeout report, a document that describes what the team did, how they did it, and what they delivered. Evaluates the quality of work and the project's performance with respect to budget and schedule. Project closing, a process performed to formally complete a project, the current phase, and contractual obligations. Project status report, an update that gives an overview of all of a project's common elements and summarizes them at a given point in time. Project task, an activity that needs to be accomplished within a set period of time. Projection, a prediction of a future outcome such as future productivity trends, project durations, costs, performance, or quality are based on current information, also called a forecast. Psychological safety, an individual's perception of the consequences of taking an interpersonal risk. Qualitative data, information about subjective qualities that can't be measured with numerical data. Quality, refers to when the outlined requirements for the deliverable are fulfilled and meet or exceed the needs and expectations of customers. Quality assurance, a review process that evaluates whether a project is moving towards delivering a high-quality service or product, also called QA. Quality control, techniques used to ensure quality standards when a problem is identified, also called QC. Quality metrics, metrics that relate to achieving acceptable outcomes, such as number of changes, issues, and cost variance. Quality planning, the actions of the project manager or team to establish and conduct a process for identifying and determining exactly which standards of quality are relevant to the project as a whole and how to satisfy them. Quality standards, requirements, specifications, or guidelines that can be used to ensure that materials, products, processes, and services are fit for achieving the desired outcome. Quantitative data, statistical and numerical facts. RAG status report, a report that follow a traffic light pattern to indicate progress and status. Red indicates there are critical issues that need resolution, amber/yellow means that there are potential issues with schedule or budget, and green means that the project is on track. Reputation, refers to how others perceive a person overall. Retrospective, a meeting in which project teams discuss successes, failures, and possible future improvements on a project. Risk, a potential event that could occur and impact a project. Risk exposure, a way to measure potential future loss resulting from a specific activity or event. Risk management, the process of identifying, evaluating, and addressing potential risks and issues that could impact a project. Risk register, a table or chart that contains a list of risks. Roadmap, a project tracking visual that is useful for high-level tracking of large milestones. ROAM technique, a strategy used to help manage actions after risks arise, stands for resolved, owned, accepted, and mitigated. ROC-CC, an acronym used in data ethics best practices to ensure that data is reliable, original, comprehensive, current, and cited. Role, one's position within an organization or team. S. Sampling bias, a type of data bias in which the sample isn't representative of the population as the whole. Scope creep, when changes, growth, and other factors affect a project's scope. Signal, an observable change. Signpost, a way to clue the audience into where a presentation is going and what to expect. Stacked bar chart, a type of bar chart that can show part-to-whole variables simultaneously, useful when comparing numerical information, also called a Marimekko chart. Storytelling, the process of turning facts into narrative to communicate something to an audience. Team, a group of people who plan work, solve problems, make decisions, and review progress in service of a specific project or objective. Team dynamics, the forces, both conscious and unconscious, that impact team behavior and performance. Teamwork, an effective, collaborative way of working in which each person is committed to and heading towards a shared goal. Test case, a sequence of steps and its expected results. Time boxing, refers to setting a time limit. Time out, refers to taking a moment away from the project to regroup and adjust the game plan. Tracking, a method of following the progress of project activities. Trench wars, conflicts that occur when two peers or groups can't come to an agreement and neither party is willing to give in. User acceptance test, a trial that helps a business make sure a product or solution works for its users, also called a UAT. User story, an informal, general explanation of a feature written from the perspective of the end user. Workgroups, people in an organization who work toward a common goal based on and assigned by organizational or managerial hierarchy.